The Belmont Stakes kick off this weekend, and it is the third jewel of the Triple Crown following the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. While there will not be a Triple Crown winner this year, this morning, we're looking back at one of the most incredible achievements in sports, and our very own Dr. Jon LaPook was there.
Secretariat is crushing the field and transcending the sport. I feel the ground shaking from the sustained cheering of almost 70,000 fans. A split second before the race ends, I take a picture I will cherish for the rest of my life. All four hooves are off the ground as if Secretariat is literally flying to victory. And the look of this man across the track from me sums up what all of us are thinking. Wow.
He does it all, ladies and gentlemen. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jon LaPook, joins us now with this important piece of horse racing history.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you to witness this? How old were you? When was this?
Right. It was June 9th, 1973. I was 20 years old, actually probably 19. It was astonishing. There hadn't been a Triple Crown winner in 25 years since Man of War. And here's the thing. As the horse came around, as Secretariat came around, and poor Sham broke Sham's heart. Sham is the horse that came in second in the Kentucky Derby and in the Preakness, and then was staying head to head.
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Came around, and Sham faded, and then the famous announcement: he's moving like some tremendous machine. And suddenly, with still a lot of time left, the entire around 70,000 people in the stands realized history is going to be made. There's no way he is losing this race. And he keeps accelerating more and more and more. And he wins the race by 31 lengths. And the shaking of the stadium was astonishing.
You can still feel it. I can tell.
It is a moment. I've talked about that day. I think that moment was the greatest example of an athlete, any athlete, transcending a sport. We can argue about that.
You think that Secretariat is, you were saying this earlier, the best athlete of all time, the GOAT?
So you can make, I'd love to talk about, Michael Jordan's The Shrug.
And Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali,
and on, and Bob Beamon, and you can go on and on. Michael Phelps.
Serena Williams.
Yes. However, certainly the greatest, and I've seen a ton of athletes, the greatest one I've ever seen, and it would be a fun argument about it. Who knows? It was transcending a sport. But here's the thing. When Secretariat came from another planet, okay? When Secretariat died, they found that his heart was more than 2 times the size of a normal heart, but there was no heart failure. He was just a mutant. He won that race by more than 2 seconds faster than the previous record. Usually, this is a race you win by 100th of a second, and that is still intact. And all 3 races, the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont, he still holds the records.
No one's beat his record.
Nope, for all 3 races. There's no, he came from another planet.
He wasn't superhuman, he was super horse.
Super horse, that was
so
amazing.
what were you doing there? And you actually took these pictures with what I imagine?
A Nickermat FTN.
Which is what?
Which is like a single lens reflex, old-fashioned black and white camera. I had a zoom lens. I took about, 25 or 30 pictures from the beginning. Everybody ran up to get their souvenir $2 ticket. I went down to the finish line. And I was able to get there. I'm right at the finish line. And on the infield, you could tell it was a different time because there were, 5 or 6 people on the infield. Like now there'd be, a million. There's no way. And I'm sitting there going, choo, choo, choo.
And did you know what was happening? Did you know this horse is going to win this race?
Well, he had crushed the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness. My roommate, Larry Levin, was a horsing nut. I didn't really know much about horses. He said, come on, we're going down. I went down with him, with my sister Corinne LaPook, and my best dear friend John Pact. And we're there. And we figured, we're going to watch it, hopefully win. And then he wins the Triple Crown. And I remember, after the race, there was electricity in the air. Literally, because it stormed, like the heavens were saying, what is happening?
There was lightning?
There was lightning. There was a huge storm. But it was a different time where I was able to sort of get down and capture this. And I have to say, there are no other similar pictures to this. And I actually met Penny Tweedy, who was the owner, and Ron Turcotte, who was the jockey, and who tragically several years later fell off a horse and became paralyzed from the waist down. I met them years ago, and I gave them a copy of the picture. Yes, and Penny was just tickled pink, as was Ron, and she actually signed and autographed a little thing saying, "Thanks for the great shot. And so I have that framed in my hallway. I took an iPhone picture of it this morning and sent it in, so hopefully it's up on the screen.
The new meets the old with the iPhone and the long lens. Dr. LaPook, documenting history from the beginning. What a journalist.
One in a million. I'll just point out as we leave, if you look at that last picture when the guy's going,
yeah, and the guy in the background.
The front right leg of the horse is up on point.
Yes.
Like a ballerina, but also flying at the same time. I mean, it was just astonishing.
Your college roommate who dragged you there was the horse, fanatic, but now you are too, having witnessed that,
well,
Dr.
just because you were there at an amazing moment.
An amazing moment in history, in sports. Thank you so much, and we will be right back.